Buying a car should mean peace of mind, but some models hide nightmares under the hood. In this countdown, we're exposing the 10 cars with the worst engines and transmissions you should never buy. From the Dodge Dart and Chrysler 200 with their jerky 9-speed disasters to the Mini Cooper's costly CVT failures, these cars turned driving into frustration. We'll cover the Ford Focus and Fiesta's infamous power shift fiasco, Nissan's endless CVT headaches in the Altima and Rogue, and even the Jeep Cherokee's stalling 9-speed. Add in European troublemakers like Volkswagen's DSG and timing chain failures, and you'll see why these cars became mechanical cautionary tales. Stay tuned, because knowing which cars to avoid could save you thousands. In the number 10 position we have the Dodge Dart and Chrysler 200, two cars that looked promising but became infamous for one of the worst transmissions ever put in a modern vehicle. The 2013 Chrysler 200 is a perfect example. Equipped with Fiat Chrysler's new 9-speed automatic, it was marketed as smooth and fuel-efficient. Instead, owners quickly found themselves dealing with jerky shifts, sudden stalls, and gearboxes that flat-out failed. The transmission was so unreliable that recalls piled up, software updates didn't solve the problem, and costly replacements became common. Consumer reports and owner forums were flooded with complaints, calling it one of the most frustrating driving experiences of the decade. These cars weren't just disappointing. They left many owners stranded. The Dart and 200 showed how a single bad transmission design could ruin an entire model's reputation, landing them firmly on the never-buy list. In the number 9 position, we have the early 2000s. Mini Cooper, a stylish little hatchback that looked like the perfect blend of fun and personality. But beneath its quirky charm was one of the most dreaded transmissions of the era, the CVT. The 2003 model year in particular became a nightmare for many owners. Instead of delivering smooth, efficient driving, the CVT often failed before 100,000 miles, leaving drivers with repair bills that sometimes cost more than the car's actual value. Replacement transmissions could run well into the thousands, and unlike traditional automatics, they weren't easily repairable. Many Mini enthusiasts loved the handling and design, but the constant fear of transmission failure turned ownership into a gamble. What should have been a fun, affordable luxury compact instead earned a reputation as one of the most expensive headaches on the used car market. A classic case of style over substance. In the number 8 position, we have the Ford Focus and Fiesta, two small cars that could have been perfect daily drivers but were ruined by one thing: the power shift transmission. The 2012 Focus is a prime example, sold with a dual-clutch gearbox that Ford promised would deliver better fuel economy and quick shifts. Instead, owners were left with shuddering starts, slipping gears, and constant stalling. The problem was so widespread it sparked lawsuits, recalls, and a tidal wave of angry customers. Many drivers reported replacing transmissions multiple times, sometimes before hitting 60,000 miles. The power shift wasn't just unreliable, it was unpredictable, turning everyday commutes into stressful guessing games. What should have been Ford's big step forward in modern transmission tech ended up being one of its biggest embarrassments. Today, these cars sit on the used market as cautionary tales, cheap up front, but costly mistakes in the long run. In the number 7 position, we have the Nissan Altima, a sedan that once promised comfort and efficiency but quickly became infamous for its transmission problems. The 2013 model year is one of the most notorious, fitted with Nissan's continuously variable transmission, CVT. On paper, the CVT was supposed to offer smoother acceleration and better fuel economy. In reality, it delivered jerky driving, frequent overheating, and sudden failures that left owners stranded. Many Altima drivers reported needing complete transmission replacements well before 100,000 miles, an expensive repair that often cost thousands. Consumer reports consistently flagged the Altima for these issues, warning buyers to steer clear of certain model years. While the Altima had the potential to be a strong competitor in the mid-size sedan market, its unreliable CVT turned it into one of the most frustrating ownership experiences of the 2010s, and a definite do not buy for used shoppers. In the number 6 position, we have the Dodge Neon, a car that tried to be an affordable compact, but ended up with a reputation for mechanical failure. The 2002 model year is especially remembered for its problems. Under the hood, the 2.0-liter and 2.4-liter engines were notorious for blowing head gaskets far too early, sometimes before 70,000 miles. Even when the engine held up, the automatic transmissions were weak, prone to slipping and early failure. Owners found themselves in a cycle of costly repairs that often outweighed the car's value. While the Neon was cheap to buy and had a playful design, its poor durability quickly turned excitement into regret. Consumer Reports ranked it among the least reliable compacts of its time, and mechanics often joked about how frequently they saw them in the shop. The Neon became a prime example of why cheap doesn't always mean cheerful. In the number 5 position, we have the Saturn Vue, an SUV that could have been a strong contender in the early 2000s, but instead became infamous for one of the worst transmissions ever built. The 2003 model year stands out for all the wrong reasons, thanks to its VTI, continuously variable transmission. While Saturn marketed it as modern and efficient, owners quickly discovered it was fragile, unpredictable, and outrageously expensive to fix. Many Vues experienced total transmission failure before hitting 80,000 miles, and replacements often cost more than the SUV's resale value. The issues grew so widespread that class action lawsuits were filed, forcing GM to extend warranties in an attempt to calm furious customers. Instead of building trust, the Vue's CVT disaster destroyed Saturn's reputation for reliability and became one of the nails in the brand's coffin. It's a textbook example of technology gone terribly wrong. In the number 4 position, we have the Chrysler Sebring, a mid-size car that looked sleek on the outside but hid a world of mechanical nightmares under the hood. The 2004 model year is particularly infamous thanks to its 2.7-liter V6 engine. This motor was notorious for developing oil sludge, which choked the engine and led to catastrophic failures, often before 100,000 miles. Even diligent owners who changed oil regularly weren't always safe. On top of that, the Sebring's automatic transmissions were fragile, with slipping, harsh shifting, and early breakdowns being common complaints. What was supposed to be Chrysler's stylish competitor in the midsize market instead became a financial trap for unlucky owners. Mechanics dreaded working on them, and Consumer Reports consistently ranked them at the bottom of their class. The Sebring proved that flashy design meant nothing if the engine and transmission couldn't survive real-world driving. In the number 3 position, we have the Jeep Cherokee, specifically the 2014 to 2016 models, which became infamous for one of the most troublesome transmissions of the modern era. FCA introduced a 9-speed automatic that was supposed to improve fuel efficiency and performance, but instead, it delivered endless headaches. Drivers reported harsh, jerky shifts, delayed acceleration, and even sudden stalling in traffic. Software updates and recalls were rolled out, but they rarely fixed the underlying problems. Many owners experienced complete transmission replacements well before 80,000 miles, a nightmare for an SUV marketed as rugged and dependable. Consumer complaints piled up, and the Cherokee's reputation took a serious hit. Instead of being remembered as a capable crossover, it became a case study in how rushing unproven technology can destroy trust. The Cherokee's 9-speed mess still lingers as one of Jeep's most embarrassing failures in recent memory. In the number 2 position, we have the Volkswagen Jetta and Passat, two cars that carried a reputation for European style, but also some of the worst mechanical headaches. The 2010 Jetta, in particular, exposed the flaws in VW's DSG dual-clutch transmission. On paper, it promised lightning-fast shifts and sporty performance, but in practice, it delivered jerky acceleration, slipping gears, and sudden failures that left drivers stranded. To make matters worse, VW's 2.0T engines from this era suffered from notorious timing chain tensioner failures, often leading to complete engine destruction without warning. Repair costs were astronomical, and many owners faced bills in the thousands just to keep their cars running. While the Jetta and Passat had the looks and handling that drew buyers in, their engines and transmissions turned ownership into a gamble. They became proof that European refinement sometimes hides disastrous reliability issues. In the number one position, we have the Nissan Rogue, a crossover that climbed sales charts but also earned a reputation as one of the worst offenders when it comes to transmission reliability. The 2013 model year is especially notorious, equipped with Nissan's problematic continuously variable transmission, CVT. Instead of smooth and efficient driving, owners reported constant shuddering, hesitation, and complete transmission failure, sometimes before even hitting 70,000 miles. Replacement costs were outrageous, often totaling thousands of dollars, and many drivers faced multiple failures within just a few years. Lawsuits and extended warranties followed, but the damage to the Rogue's reputation was already done. While it looked like a safe, family-friendly choice on the outside, under the hood it was a ticking time bomb. The Rogue became the poster child of CVT nightmares, earning its place at the very top of the list of cars you should never buy.